Okay, evening everyone. Thank you all for attending the Extraordinary Neighbourhood Plan Full Council meeting. So we have had a number of apologies.
Yes, I've had apologies from Councillor Glenn, Councillor Clark, Councillor Baker, Councillor Sparks, Councillor Fuller, Councillor S. Oakes and Councillor N. Oakes.
So I assume we're happy to accept those, and we are quorate, so that's good news. It's quite, oh no, we've declarations of interest, I suppose, which is to declare any disposable pecuniary interests, any other interests, request for dispensation, gifts or hospitality accepted or offered.
Who's going to be first?
On the basis that I've been declaring it since time immemorial, I declare that I was a member of the Blackthorn Parish Council Neighbourhood Plan Working Party and am now a Blackthorn Parish Councillor in addition.
And I declare I'm a resident of St Christopher's Drive.
No, you're not. We're close.
Oh, that's me.
You were very close as well. See, told you I'm getting confused.
Okay, next item, participation from interested parties and members of the public. And I don't think there are any. So we've got considerations of requests from interested parties. I don't think we've received any. No. So I say it's quite a short agenda, just two items. Firstly, to approve the response from Arundel Town Council to the ENC Local Plan Part 2 consultation. Just quickly, thank you all for your input into this. I know there's been lots of work done by particularly councillors Peel and Robinson, but also other councillors as well to give their feedback and to work on the document. So I'm hoping that the document is in a form which is very close to ready for acceptance. So,
just in terms of copyright, David is the name.
well, of course, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, quite right, Tony. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, thanks very much, David, for letting us plagiarise your work. So, I guess it opens to the floor really if anyone has got anything they want to raise as concern or any proposed changes.
Well, I do have a concern. I mean, even though I wrote my own response, which has been sort of largely adapted and then I contributed to where we got to. Because the difficulty, it seems to me, from a town council point of view, is that this response inevitably moves us away from the draft neighbourhood plan that we currently operate to. Because we are now, in having reassessed two of the sites, become quite critical of both of them as a council. That's perfectly reasonable, but I think we have to be very, very clear about this and where it is leading us. Because does that mean that when we press ahead with our neighbourhood plan, we are going to exclude one or other or both of the contentious sites? Or are we going to try to say that with the more modest scale of development that we propose on each site, that they can be coped with, but that you wouldn't want to have the full numbers? And I do think we actually have to take that decision almost tonight, because how can we submit that without actually having come to a view on the other? And that's why, to me, it's extraordinarily disappointing that we have half the council missing tonight for what is arguably a very, very key decision to make.
Can I actually read the planner's report today. I didn't think I'd have time, but I did. And he does make the point that we actually, in our neighbourhood plan, have said 45 houses, and we're talking about Ashton Road, and 30 houses on the Cotterstock Road. That is in our neighbourhood plan, and that's part and parcel of his planning comeback that he's had on that. And it indeed deals with the conversations and the objections we've had from all the people that took part in replying to our consultation earlier in this year. So, in some ways, I agree with David. You've got to sort of say that this is part and parcel of the part development of these two sites, not the full development that's in the local plan. I think if we can put that in as a distinguishing line, then I don't think there'd be a problem.
I must admit, I did have exactly the same concern as David has raised, and I have raised it with the working party in terms of the document. I mean, I suppose the document as it exists now, where I'd got to with it was that the Cotterstock Road development is of such a different scale to what's in the neighbourhood plan that all of the concerns that we raise relating to the local plan are perfectly valid and are massively moderated by the much smaller development proposed in the neighbourhood plan. So to some extent, I kind of, in my mind at least, I was satisfied that the vast difference in scale meant that it was credible for us to maintain our small development of that site compared to the bigger one. Similarly, on the St Christopher's Drive one, I mean, the main concern really seems to be around the road access. And again, through further discussions with the working party, I've come to the conclusion that those concerns are dramatically reduced if you are only talking about 45 homes, because you don't need to put these big expansions of the road infrastructure in to serve that size, that sort of size of development. So in that respect, I sort of resigned in my mind that what we were saying in this letter was suitable and didn't unduly compromise the neighbourhood plan, notwithstanding that we still do need to go back into that and look at all the concerns that have been raised and review again where we are. But I, in my mind at least, I got to the point where I thought, well, what we'd done was making strongly the concerns we felt about the large developments in the local plan, without necessarily saying that meant that the neighbourhood plan developments were unsustainable. Sorry if I've spoken too much.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You've got to say it now, because next week it's going to be too late. I mean, is there a way that we can actually say in regard, because to me, I put in a small paragraph that on the neighbourhood plan accepts the need for housing in Cotterstock Road for 30 houses, but 130 houses would be far too much, and accepts the 45, but the 100 houses would be far too much attached to it.
Again, personally, I think even that would be premature, because until we've properly assessed the responses to our consultation and as a full council made a decision on how the neighbourhood plan should proceed, I don't see we need to do that.
No, I understand the problem, because obviously we haven't got the name, we haven't got the actual full council, or the next full council meeting until the 19th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was quite happy with the letter, but I understand where David's coming from as well. So, if we're happy with the letter as it is, then I don't see any reason why we should change it. But if we feel we have to mention the fact, then I think maybe we should make that differential.
It comes down to whether we, as a council, are happy that the two views which have just been expressed. One is that the letter goes too far to undermine the neighbourhood plan, and the view I've just expressed, which is actually, I think, because of the smaller size developments, it is still credible to promote the neighbourhood plan, and nothing in that letter would undermine what we've done. That's the decision tonight, really, isn't it? Is do we need to put more into that letter to reinforce that this in no way undermines our view on the neighbourhood plan, but emphasises the concerns about the much larger developments in the local plan?
I added a paragraph in at the end of the summary, which sort of went halfway towards that, which simply indicated that we'd carried out a review of our own site assessments as part of this process. You could have further expanded, I suppose, but it becomes this very difficult balancing exercise between saying that the assessment of neither of these two sites, if this be the council's view, is such that any development on the site is unacceptable, but that development would have to be significantly restricted. And you could put something like that in the summary, which would be a sort of a bridge to explain why. we do what we do. But the risk is, if you're not careful, you start undermining your own arguments about whether or not the sites stand up, which is why you have to start saying, well, are we actually going, in the long run, to include one or other of those sites? And I think it is a stunningly difficult situation for us, but one we've got to get a handle on tonight.
I think it's important that it's recognised that there is some paragraph in there, some sentence even, recognises the legitimacy of that fact, that we recognise that fact. But also your argument generally holds forth as well, because the goalposts have shifted slightly. So and it's purely a legitimate argument that you put forward, that actually they haven't grown, it's just shifted emphasis a little bit. And I think that's legitimate as well. But I agree entirely with David that there should be some sort of paragraph in there for them to, if someone wanted to argue it, they could jump on it straight away and say, well, you've actually moved the goalpost completely, you're not talking about the same plan anymore, you haven't got to the people, you haven't, and instantly we'd be blown out the water as far as the jury, the public, or anything would hear that. But if there was as you say, some paragraph or a few sentences that actually said we do recognise that, then you deflated their argument if they wanted to pick on it. Can we not just say that notwithstanding our own neighbourhood plan submission?
Yeah. I don't know if anybody has had the opportunity to read through those 349 pages of submissions, which I have actually
No, we're talking about the
in
ENC.
terms of looking at it from all the angle ones. But I was incredibly impressed by what came out of Biggin Estates and their analysis of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Although actually there's a bit in what they say which I looked at mine and thought, well, I've also said the same thing. Because what is so flawed about it is it's transparently obvious that they've done this backwards. They started on the assumption they wanted to justify 3 sites and have produced site assessments which get you there.
Totally.
But as Biggin Estates say, actually when you start analysing some of their assessment criteria and so on, you can make out just as strong a case for going the opposite direction. And some of the stuff they put is just, plain wrong as a goal this document starts to, indicate. But it does take us back to that whole issue about whether or not you can sit there and start saying that a site assessment that says it's suitable for development is flawed, and then propose a measure of development on the same site. And I think that's arguably particularly difficult on the Cottesmore Road site, because part of the argument, amongst other arguments, it's not only the whole access, the visual impact, the slope, etc. You've got the proximity to the sewage works, you've also got the covenant which restricts development. That covenant which restricts development is on the very part of the site which we ourselves have included in our neighbourhood plan as being the bit to be developed. So, if we put this in as it is, we are going to have some difficult questions in due course to answer, however we then start to configure things. Because the other point of our argument has been that the town said spread it around, and we produced a plan which did that pretty well in my view. We've got some development scattered around various parts of the town. But of course, if we then take out 2, if you're going to replace it like for like in numbers, you then have to essentially increase the size of the Bennefield Road development dramatically, which then runs counter to the argument that we didn't want large developments and so on. So we have this stunningly difficult tightrope to walk. And whether this pushes us in a particular direction in due course remains to be seen. Because it's going to get quoted back at us in due course, I have no doubt.
I think that's why I'm saying that, in my mind, we need to separate this from the neighbourhood plan, because you know we know there's still work to do on the neighbourhood plan. We have still got to get the planning experts' opinions. We've still got to digest all the stuff that's been done in very recently, that's just arrived in the last few days, and we need to make sure that the responses to the consultation last year are all taken into account. So all of that means I don't think we can sit here tonight and say, oh well, you know, we're going to change our neighbourhood plan view. I think it would be inappropriate anyway, without having said that it's not on the agenda, is it? It's not on the agenda, so we can't do it tonight. So we're not going to be changing our neighbourhood plan tonight. But I think what we need to do is make sure that we feel comfortable that the response that we send imminently doesn't undermine that. Now, in my mind at least, I'd got to the point where I was happy that it was defendable. In that, I wouldn't argue with that we maybe should expand on that last paragraph in the summary that says, we're still assessing the allocations our own neighbourhood plan, and we believe nothing we've said here undermines the proposed allocations in the draft neighbourhood plan due to the much smaller scale developments proposed. We could put something like that in that first paragraph, couldn't we, for the first section, in order to try and reinforce that view. But I think we've almost got to sort of accept that this is okay, more or less as it is, and maybe with the addition of that sentence, or we're almost kind of going to run out of time, aren't we, in putting anything in, because we're not going to get together again before this needs to be submitted.
Is there another way? And I know this might not be correct, and please, I'm not 100% certain. But can we not just do this as individuals and don't send it from Arundel Town Council?
No, we can't not send it to Arundel Town. It would be the worst thing in the world for Arundel Town Council.
I think we have to respond.
Well, yeah, it's a
I'm
council.
just thinking, if we send it as individuals, you wouldn't have that problem.
Well,
That's true, and that's one reason why I wanted to be able to submit one, because I did feel that some of what I was saying wasn't in line with the council's position. So my own document is slightly different to this. Perhaps by the time it goes in, I'll try to make sure that it's more slightly different, because otherwise it does look slightly odd. But
I don't think it looks that odd, because
I wouldn't discourage councillors from putting in individual responses, but I don't think there can be any substitute for this council having its own view.
Well, we've already seen how they conveniently lost nearly 300 responses.
26.
Well, no, I'm not sure. I don't think they did. I think when they talked about the 600 number, they were talking about the number of individual comments.
Yeah.
If you look down the list, for every individual respondent, there's often very many more than one comment. So I think there are actually the full list in that list.
So it reads, when you read it through, it reads as if they've conveniently they've doctored the information. Well, read that.
I don't know.
No, it's not an allegation, it's just that that's how it reads when you first read it.
I thought there might have been a bit of a misunderstanding or a miscommunication somewhere in terms of whether we're talking about individual respondents or individual representations, points made.
I've actually read that now to page 77, and it is quite a hard read to actually understand everything that's said. But I think there is a general look of the whole report, and I have to say I've only got 77 so far, but it is outstanding how much of those first 77 pages Arundel is mentioned.
Yeah.
It is quite astonishing that
It's
when you
the
look at
only
it.
one which is attracting huge public comment.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously, you've got developers and those who are interested saying things about Rawlins or Rushton or whatever else it is. It's when you get to Arundel, you suddenly see that there's this groundswell. That's also true that quite a lot of those responses are clearly mirror image responses.
Oh, yes. No, I don't
Probably
disagree.
half a dozen people have submitted exactly the same thing. So you start reading this and thinking, hang on a minute, I'm sure I've read this before. In fact, the answer is
You
yes.
do.
That's because I have read it
It's on the
before,
page
not because
before.
I've gone backwards in some way.
I noticed that. But I mean, the amazing thing is, it is amazing how many Arundel people or organisations or whatever I've got a mention in that, in the ENC comments. It must mean that they've got to take some notice of what Arundel is saying. Whether they do or not, I think they must, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just want to try and sort of bring it back
No,
on topic a bit if I
sorry,
can.
yeah.
It's all right.
Can
No, I mean,
say,
I think.
it's incumbent on us as a council to put forward a response.
Yeah, I think we agree with that.
that's
Yeah. So I think, so if we're going to do that, I think it's important we agree the words tonight. So I suppose really, I mean, I'm almost tempted to put it to a proposition that we include some additional words in the final paragraph of the summary to say that we believe nothing that we have said here necessarily conflicts with the neighbourhood plan, draft neighbourhood plan. Having said that, we still have to take into full consideration the responses to our consultation in 2018. If we could add that sentence in, I'm almost at the point where I'd like to say, could we put that in as a proposal and see whether we've got a...
I don't see any problem with that.
Right, I'm going to let Emma read it back if she's...
I haven't typed it.
Right, so let's do it.
I started typing and then I didn't get
Okay.
it. So I've just got the mayor suggests that we submit the response with some words in the last paragraph in the summary.
So I would suggest that we take out the last sentence in summary. This response is based upon the outcome of that review, and say at that point, our position is that nothing in this response conflicts with the proposed developments in the Arundel neighbourhood, in the Arundel draft neighbourhood plan.
Use the word allocations.
Yeah, sorry, allocations. Thank you. Are you catching up?
Proposed allocations.
Yeah. In the draft Arundel neighbourhood plan, due to the smaller nature of these developments, smaller nature of these allocations, smaller size of these allocations. But subject to review with our planning consultants and of the comments received in the 2018 consultation. I think Phil would like to have a word.
I'd like to make just a couple of observations, if I may. First, the neighbourhood plan that you've got there in the draft, the one that we spent years on, is sustainable, it's supportable, it's evidence-based, it is all accurate. If you move away from that into saying, well, we're going to take a site out or something else, that kills the whole neighbourhood plan. Because once you take a site out, you've got to redo all the other sites in terms of SA and that sort of type of thing, which there isn't a time to do, and I suspect not the action to do. So really you've got to support the neighbourhood plan if that's what you want to do, and it's got to be fairly wholehearted. Otherwise, we could wind up with no neighbourhood plan, and in fact no district plan. If that's the case, then it'd be a free-for-all for developers to do whatever they want. And applications will start flying. In fact, they're already ones in today. So, I think we've got to talk about the sites, but the 45 houses down there was restricted to 45 pure and simply because of the access, or the poor quality of access. Okay, it could have been less than that, we tried less than that, but we discussed it quite correctly at length. And I think the district plan is based upon having another road in, which is a total non-starter. Absolute total. Can I just say that the meeting on the 18th is not going to have any propositions in it. It's not going to ask anyone to vote for anything one way or another, because the district has just not got all the information together to do it. And I think the next meeting is in April, beginning of April, in which individual proposals will be made on Andrew Douglas. So that's the time when we want to be ready with our ammunition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you read that back then? Yeah.
It's the proposition is that in summary, take out the last sentence and replace with nothing in this response conflicts with the proposed allocations in the draft Oundle Neighbourhood Plan due to the smaller size of allocations, but is subject to review with our planning consultants of the comments received during the Regulation 14 consultations for the Oundle Neighbourhood Plan in 2018.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
So
Too late.
I think Val's proposed that.
Yes, I seconded it.
Oh, you seconded it, or I proposed it.
I
I proposed it, whichever.
Yes.
Someone proposed, someone seconded. So those in favour? That's everyone here. Great, thank you. Hopefully, we've trod the tightrope. Last item then on the agenda is councillors to attend the meeting on 18th of Feb. I mean, obviously, as Mayor, I could go and could say the words. I would be very happy if someone else wanted to do it. It's not a great night for me, but I will do it if you think I should go.
Can I just say, I honestly think it would be incredibly supportive if we had every councillor there on that night. I know we're not going to get that, but I just think as a group it would show full support for Oundle Neighbourhood Plan if we did get those people there.
Well,
And as I say, I do appreciate that the possibilities are that we're not going to get everybody there. I just think we've got to show ENC and Oundle that the councillors are behind this plan.
okay.
So
But
that's
also,
my thought.
we have to make sure that the members of that committee understand what Oundle's position is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they won't necessarily.
So, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with anything with what you said there. I mean, like I say, I said I'm available. I will make it. We need a spokesman. We can't all sort of jump up and down and start trying to say something.
There's only one person to be able to stand up.
Yeah. So, who do we want to be?
The mayor.
You want the mayor, okay? If you want the mayor, that's fine. I mean, I would be quite happy if someone else felt they were in a better position to do it, more eloquent, better briefed, more able. But if you're happy for me to do it, then I will prepare a statement based on our response, and we'll deliver that at that meeting.
Tony's already done a brief statement for that meeting.
I did one for you.
Oh, I didn't realise it was for me. I thought it for discussion. I do apologise.
But I think
It's your statement,
Okay.
but that's just for it. It's only drafted from the document you've seen before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will make sure I'm happy with that. I think we should be there in force if we can be. I do also think we should resist the temptation to all try and put
I don't think
2
anybody
minutes
else is
in.
saying
I think it needs to be. I think we'll make the point in this. There are 14 councillors from Oundle here, all supporting this statement, and if they're all there, that'd be great. And I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Any other relevant matters for report only? No.
Where is it?
Oh, it's at ENC.
Which day is it?
It's the Monday the 18th. Next
Just
Monday.
left my diary at
I honestly
home.
don't know.
Emma, can you circulate the details of that?
Yeah, I'll have to get them, but I'll have to say that you're going to be speaking anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll contact them.
It'll be on their website soon, won't it, probably? Yeah. If not already. Great. Okay, thank you. That's that
I know
one.
the debts, what you of course.
Thank you very much. Councillor Stern.
Well, wouldn't expect anything else.
Right, so we close this meeting then at 7:29.
Yep.
Yeah.